We live in a hurricane zone. We're prone to tsunami, so we're never going to not have damage. But it's important for utility to be prepared once there is damage to repair it as quickly as possible. So to that end, we've established an incident command system so that in the event of a storm that goes in place to react and restore facilities. But that incident command system really is in place year round as part of the planning process. So we make sure we've got contracts in place for emergency line crews, that we have material that we can bring in. We can bring in contractors to do damage assessment. We bring in contractors to do debris removal. And again, that's all part of disaster response. I think about it, it's firefighting. You have a fire and you're responding to it. And the better trained your people are and the better prepared you are, you can respond to those incidents and extinguish the flames or get power restored as soon as possible. Then the second piece of building a resilient utility is long-term mitigation planning. And that's hardening the system, putting circuits underground, using composite poles. The purpose of that is to minimize the damage. I akin that to fire prevention. So those two things are very important for utility to focus on, is the emergency restoration and the mitigation planning to minimize damage when you do have a storm. Because we're building microgrids. These are going to be mostly solar-powered microgrids with battery storage. So after a storm, you can isolate sections, and they can use the solar during the day and the batteries during the night. In St. John, we'll also be installing microgrids, but those will have solar, but they'll also have emergency diesel generators that can be turned on, and St. John can be isolated from St. Thomas. So we are building those into our long-term mitigation plans. We will have microgrids, as I mentioned, in St. John, in St. Thomas, and also in St. Croix, because they do allow a utility to restore power to areas and isolate those areas so they have generation more quickly after a storm.